All right, we got a 2006 F350 dually diesel. Sending unit was going bad. At least I think it was reading empty every now and then. And a quarter tank, it was actually bone dry, which is found that out the hard way. Anyway, watched the video from Diesel Tech Ron. Figured I'd post my experience doing it his way. He recommended lifting the bed. I've got basic tools and stuff, so I don't have a lift or anything to work with, and doing this in my driveway. So one of the worst things was just getting the bed bolts out, which I ended up having to weld some nuts on there, and the impact still wasn't enough. I had to put a big breaker bar in there, and of course one of the nut clips broke loose, and so that was kind of a pain. But I got the left ones are completely out. I guess it'd be driver's side. Passenger side is neighbor driving by. Right side, I left a couple of them in. That's the one that the nut plate is screwed up in. So anyway, I lifted it up. I had just the 2x4 in there on the side, so 3.5 inches. That wasn't quite enough to get the sending unit to fish out of there. It kind of ran into the bed, so I lifted it up another 1.5 inches. Jammed another 2x4 in there. So I just want to be careful that those don't flip over, so I put another set in there. I couldn't get the lid off of the tank, so I welded this together from parts I had laying around. The dimension here is just short of 7 inches. It's like 6 15/16. I just laid it on there, marked it, pulled it back out, welded it after I'd cut these off, and then just put a nut on there. That actually worked really well. I hammered it down on and put a breaker bar on here, just because my breaker bar has a swivel. If you had a swivel 1/2 inch drive ratchet, that'd probably work just as well. But you can kind of see up in there is of course where the actual sending unit is. Getting the hoses off of the sending unit itself, that's kind of fun. They got like clips in there, so I don't have any special tool for that, so I just use the thin screwdriver and pop them off. So yeah, like I say, you want 3.5 plus 1.5, so that's what 5 inches of lift under here. This had a gooseneck hitch in it. I took it out because I don't have a gooseneck right now. Actually, fifth wheel, I guess, is what it is. But that's the ring that goes off of the top of the fuel tank. I also pulled the filler neck out because I didn't want to rip the hose loose. The only other thing was there was some wires back here. I got to clean this up eventually, but this is all from the previous owner. So I had to cut some zip ties so it didn't pull loose. And this is the old sending unit. You can see that it's pretty rusty. It had the water and fuel light on it when I picked the truck up, so I'm thinking that I think it sat a lot, so I'm thinking that it sat above the fuel level for a good amount of time and gathered condensation and stuff. New sending unit through Ford's like $500 and some bucks, so I'm gonna take my chance with a used one that I got out of a salvage truck. I think I paid like $70 for that. Maybe it was 50. I think it was 50 with some other stuff. It was $70. But anyway, this one looks a lot better. Yeah, so there's the plug. This is out of an 04. My truck's an 06. So hopefully this all lines up and everything. But the fuel lines are 2 different sizes, so you don't have to worry about screwing them up. I guess that's about it. So thanks for watching. See ya.